Hi friends, welcome back. Today you and I are going to be using mental math to help us do some subtraction problems. And what that means is that we're going to be using all the different strategies that we've learned and showing our work to explain how we did it. Let's go watch our visual learning video to see how.
What are some ways to subtract three-digit numbers? Let's find out.
I'm all about finding out new things.
Use any strategy to find 372 minus 123. Do you think there is more than one way to solve this problem? If so, what strategies could you use? Yes, you could solve this problem by counting back by hundreds, tens, and ones. Or you could use easier numbers. One way to subtract is to count back. Start at 372. Count back 100, then 2 tens, then 3 ones. The difference of 372 minus 123 is 249. Another way to find 372 minus 123 is to use easier numbers. 122 is close to 123. You can think of 123 as 122 plus 1. Subtracting 122 from 372 is easier because the ones digits are the same. There will be a 0 in the ones place of the answer. So you can take away 122 from 372 and then take away one more. What is 372 minus 122? 372 minus 122 equals 250. Now subtract one more. 250 minus 1 equals 249. So 372 minus 123 equals 249. Do you get the same difference using both ways?
You do.
Yes, the difference is 249. What is another way to find the difference of 372 minus 123?
Let's try it. It says move the pointer from step 1 to step 3 to see another way to find 372 minus 123. So they started off by stacking up 372 minus 3 ones. And then they did 369, which is the answer they got to the first part, minus the 2 tens. And then they did the answer to that one minus the hundreds. So they did the beginning number 372 minus the ones, and then minus tens, and then minus the hundreds to get 249, which is still the same answer.
Now you know some different ways to subtract three-digit numbers.
Okay, guys, let's go hop in that workbook and do some subtraction problems. We're going to start off on page 656 in our workbooks. So if you need to pause me and go get your pencil and turn to that page, go and pause me now. And when you're ready, we're going to come back and do these problems together. So it says use any strategies to subtract, and then we have to show our work though. So there's lots of different ways we could do this. We can do like the last way that they showed us in the visual learning video. We can do a number line, and we can do a number line adding up, or we can do it counting back. We can do stacking. We can also do place value blocks. There's lots of different ways that we've learned. So we have lots of different choices, okay? So our first problem is 485 minus 136. Now for this one, I'm gonna do place value blocks. So as a reminder, when you do place value blocks, you have to draw the bigger number and then you cross off the amount that you're taking away. So I'm gonna draw my hundreds blocks. There's 4 hundreds. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 8 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, So I drew 485 in place value blocks, and now I'm going to switch colors here to cross off the amount that I'm subtracting, which is 136. Now, I can start wherever I want when I'm doing place value blocks for subtraction. So I'm going to start with the hundreds. I see there's 100, so I'm going to cross off that. There's 3 tens that I need to subtract, so I'm going to cross off these 3 tens right here. And then I need to take away 6 ones. Now I only have 5 ones, so I'm going to make one of my tens into 10 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I need to cross off 6 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now my last step is going to be counting up what I have left. So I have 1, 2, 3 hundreds. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ones. So place value blocks, that's how you do it. You draw out your blocks for the bigger number and then you cross off the smaller number and see what's left over. That'll be your difference, and that's what you can use to find your answer. Let's do number 2. For this one, I'm going to do a number line, and I'm going to do counting back. Oh, that's a crazy arrow. There we go. So remember, for counting back, I'm going to start with the bigger number at the right end, so 457. And I'm going to count back by this much, 261. So I'm going to do 100 minus 100, because we are doing subtraction. I had 400s and I took away 1, so now I only have 300s, so 357. And then I still need to do another 100 because we're taking away 200s for 261. So minus 100. I had 300s and I took away 1, so that's only 257. Now I need to take away 6 tens. I'm going to do this in chunks. So I know that I have 5 tens right now and 257, so I'm going to take away 5 of my tens. So minus 5 tens, which is 50. If I had 5 tens and I took away all 5 tens, I'm going to have a 0 in the tens place. So 200s, 0 tens, and 7 ones. That was 5 of my tens. I still have to take away 1 more though, because we have to take away 6 tens for 261. So minus 10. I need to be careful with this because 207 minus 10 is going to take me into the hundreds. So the way I like to think about it is that I'm still going to have my 7 ones because my ones aren't going to change. I had 20 tens in 200 and I took away 1 10. So 20 minus 1 is 19, which means I have 19 tens left. So 207 minus 10 is 197. So we did our 200s, we took away our 6 tens, and now I just need to take away 1. 7 minus 1 is 6, so my answer is 196. Boom, just like that. Okay, I am going to do just one more of these problems, and I am going to do the way that they showed us in that last setup, which is kind of tricky. It's a little bit different. So what you do is I'm going to take 342, and I'm going to subtract just the ones. So minus 4. Now 2 minus 4, I can't do that, so I need to borrow some ones. So I'm going to take a 10, which means I only have 3 tens left. And I'm going to move those 10 ones over to my ones column. So I had 2 ones, and now I added 12. I added 10 more, so now I have 12 ones. So I regrouped. So I have 12 ones minus 4. 12 minus 4 is 8. I still have 3 tens, and I still have 300s. So I did my ones. Now I'm going to take 338, 338, which is my answer from down here. And I'm going to take away the tens. So minus 3 tens, which is 30. 8 minus 0 is 8. 3 minus 3 is 0, so I have 0 tens left, and I still have my 300s. Okay, so I've done the tens and the ones. Now I need to do the hundreds. So I'm going to take 308, which is my answer from this last one, minus my 100 from 134. Okay, So 8 minus 0 is 8 ones, 0 tens minus 0 tens is 0 tens, and 300s minus 100 is 200s. So I did 134. I still took away 134, so my answer was 208. Okay, so these are just a couple of our different strategies that we're going to try and practice today. Let's go watch one more quick video to help us see other ways and get some more practice.
Let's take a look at this subtraction problem. 348 minus 126. Let's make this problem easy to solve by counting back. To count back, start at 348 and count back 126. Here's what I mean. Remember, 126 is 100, 2 tens, and 6 ones. We'll start at 348 and count back 100 to 248. Now, we'll count back 2 tens, or 20, to 228. We're getting close. Next, we'll count back 6 ones to 222. So we count back 126, or 100, 2 tens, and 6 ones. That's a total of 222. So 348 minus 126 equals 222. We can solve this another way too. Use easier numbers. Here's how. Instead of subtracting 126, we'll subtract 128. What does that do for us? Well, 348 minus 128 gives us 220, an easier number. If we include the 2 we added from 126, we end up with 222. We got the same answer both times. So whether you count back or use easier numbers, you can make subtracting 3-digit numbers easier than ever.
Okay, let's get some more practice. Let's turn that page. Okay, we're gonna do number 5 together. For this one, I'm just gonna use stacking. You guys can pick whatever strategy you want for these. It's completely up to you. I'm just using different strategies for each problem. So for this one, I stacked it up. I have 8 ones minus 9 ones, which we know we can't do because 9 is bigger than 8. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna cross off my 9 tens and take away 1 and make it 8 tens. And I'm gonna take those 10 ones into my ones column. So instead of having 8 ones, I now have 18 ones that I can subtract from. So 18 minus 9, that's a double stacked, so that's 9. 8 tens minus 1 10 is 7 tens. And 500s minus 300s is 200. So my answer is 279. Oh, 279, there we go. Okay, it can be pretty easy. Go ahead and do number 6, choose whatever strategy you want to use, solve it, find your answer, and then come back to me when you are all done and we'll double check. You ready? Okay. For this one, I'm gonna do a number line. Oh, crazy number line, let's try that again. Number line, there we go. And I'm gonna do adding on because I haven't done that way yet. So I'm gonna start at 452 down here. And I'm gonna count up until I get to 794. So I know that if I'm in the 400s, I can add 100 to get to 552, another 100 to get to 652, and another 100 to get to 752. So I'm gonna make one big jump of 300s. I'm gonna add 300 all at once. You can do small jumps of 100 at a time. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just doing a bigger jump so I don't run out of space. So 400s plus 3 more would be 700s, 5 10s, and 2 ones still. Okay, so now I'm at 752. I know I can't add another 100 because that would put me into the 800s, right? So let's see how many 10s we can add. If I added 1 10, that would be 62, another 10, 72, another 10, 82, another 10, 92. We can add 4 10s. So I'm gonna make a big jump of 4 10s. So I'm gonna add 40. And like I said, we'd still have our 700s, 5 10s plus 4 more is 9. So 9 10s, and we still have our 2 ones. So now we're at 792. And then if we have to get to 794, how many ones do we have to add? Just 2 ones. So I'm gonna make a jump of 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4, so now we're at 794. And now remember, when you add on, the last step that you need to do is adding up what you added. says see what your answer is. So we had 342. That's what we added. So our answer is going to be 342. Let's do number 8 together. For this one, I'm going to do stacking. Okay, remember you can do whatever strategy you want. 649 minus 525. In my ones column, I have 9 ones minus 5 ones. Well, 9 minus 5 is 4, so I have 4 ones. In my tens, I have 4 tens minus 2 tens. 4 minus 2 is 2. And in my hundreds, I have 600 minus 500, which is 1, so 100. So guess what? My answer is 124. That one was pretty easy. I want you to do number 9, use whatever strategy you want, show your work, find your answer, and then come back to me when you're done. Are you ready? Okay. For this one, I am going to do using easier numbers. So I'm going to do 463 minus 243. And the reason I chose 243 is because there's a 3 in the ones, and so I'm going to make this a 3. So I still have to take away 1 more when I'm all done, but this will make my math a little bit easier. 3 minus 3 is 0 ones, 6 tens minus 4 tens is 2 tens, and 4 hundreds minus 200 is 200. So I took away 243, but I still have to take away 1 more. So now I just have to do this quick problem, which is 220 minus 1. So 0 minus 1, I can't do that. I'm going to take one of my tens, so this is a 1, and I'm going to take those 10 ones over into my ones column. So now I have 10 ones minus 1, which is 9. I still have my 110, and I still have my 200s. So my answer is 219. Let's go down and do number 11. So number 11 says, Leo says that the difference of 526 minus 217 is greater than 200. Is what Leo says reasonable? Why or why not? So we need to look at this problem, and he says that the answer to it, the difference, is more than 200. So let's look at it. We have 500s minus 200. Well, 5 minus 2 would leave us with 326, right? Okay, so if we take away the 200, we have 326 left still, but we still have to take away 17. But 17 is less than 26, so we would be more than even 300 still, which means our answer is definitely going to be bigger than 200. So let's explain why we think Leo is reasonable down here. And this one's just one of those things that you have to think through. You guys are more than welcome to always, when you do problems like this, draw out your work and actually solve it, and then explain how you know it. But let's write this out. Another way that we can think about this is also to say that 526 is close to 525, right? Because they're almost the same. It's just one difference. We could say, and 217 is close to 225, because they're only a few numbers apart, right? So we could say 526 is almost 525, and 217 is almost 225. And then we can say 525 minus 225 equals 300. The difference is close to 300, so it must be greater than 200. So what they did is they found numbers that were closer to easier numbers to work with, and then they did the subtraction, and they found that the answer was more than 300. So that means that it definitely has to be bigger than 200. So Leo is reasonable, and that's why. We're going to turn the page and do a couple more problems. You lucky ducks, we're actually just going to do one last one. Let's read it, and then you're going to solve it. Tia collected cans to raise money for school. She collected 569 cans on Monday. Tia collected some more cans on Tuesday. Don't know how many. Now, total, she has 789 cans. So how many cans did Tia collect on Tuesday? So she collected 569 on Monday, some more on Tuesday, and now her total altogether is 789. So I want you to think, how could you set this up as a subtraction problem? Do your work, solve it, find your answer, and then come back to me when you think you're done, and we'll double check. So remember, we talked about this yesterday. Whenever you have a word problem and they're saying they collected this much one day, some more another day, here's the total, or they're saying how much is left, anything like that, it's going to be subtraction. So that means we have to take the bigger number, 789, and subtract the smaller number, 569. For mine, I'm just going to stack them up to show my work. So 9 ones minus 9 ones is 0 ones. 8 tens minus 6 tens is 2 tens. and 700s minus 500 is 200s. So my answer is 220. And this is what that means. On Monday, she collected 569 cans. On Tuesday, she collected 220 more cans. So in all, she has collected 789 cans. Pretty cool. Let's look at your homework. You're going to go back in that workbook and do these 4 problems for me. Number 7, number 10, 13, and 15. Make sure you are practicing those different strategies that we've learned. And then go do your quick check. And after that, you're going to do your iReady or MathFacts Pro, however your teacher has told you to do it. And I won't see you next week. You'll be with Miss Nichols, but then I will be back the week after that for some more math. Bye, friends. See you then.